more, like the way I think about my feet, right? I'm trying to, the way you are, is if 12 o'clock is where the violin head is, that's also where my left foot is. And my right foot is 2 o'clock. So then my left foot ends the head of the violin and my nose, kind of like if I look at the violin, align. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, now you're a little too behind with your right. So still like this, the shoulder has to kind of be in the same line, right? With this, your right hand shoulder is going to be behind. So you want them to feel like, okay, you're kind of face, your body faces that corner while your violin right now faces this. So in real stage life, same line, stay where you are. So in real stage life, audience is there. My violin is facing the door. Why? Because it's constructed that way. The sound comes to the F holes, right, goes right to them, right? So then my left hand will kind of be where the left foot will be where the head of the violin is, and then my right foot was kind of like a little bit more towards that corner. Okay. Again, your right foot is way behind. Okay. No, right. So that you align even more. So that you align your shoulders. Okay. Yeah? This is important. If you do this, then like that. Okay. Alright? You have to be in the same line. Good. So now, let's bring the bow to the body. Yeah, that was half a circle. I would like a full circle. Because you're not starting to play on the A string. You're playing there. Yes. That was great. But it felt very different, right? Yeah. Okay, let's try it again. Now, okay, do you need to do it? So I noticed that you were doing that 3 times when we were talking before you were away. How many years have you played the violin?
I wonder if I have a CD, so I wonder if that might be part of it.
We all do. We all are like, you know what that does? That it makes you more nervous. So the better thing to do is to cut. If you want to do that, you can do it, but do it for real. Like play 10 times. Right? And you'll see that that's how you actually build confidence by doing this. You build, what's the opposite of confidence? Insecurity. Thank you. Yeah, it's just a second language. Okay, so it's basically you're doing kind of the same thing, but they have completely opposite results, right? Try that. 10 days from now, do that beginning 10 times for real, and you'll see on the 11th day, you're going to be like, I'm golden, I don't even need to do this anymore. It is true and tried, works for like, but if I was doing it like for like 10 days in a row, I would be smack on that. Good, so let's check on it. Good. Now, one important thing in the right hand is it's kind of self-feeding. If you think of any motion, I mean, you've seen a pendulum, right? It's the one motion will pretty much guarantee the energy required for the next motion, right? So it never stops. That's our bow, right? So if you have the right energy on one direction, it will pretty much guarantee you will have enough energy for the other one. And so it's a cycle rather than a series of separate motions, which makes playing the violin very, very hard. I wouldn't want to do that, right? But if you think of this as one cycle, that's one change, right? So what I did was I didn't stop. That's what you do. Right? but that's not use it. Go to the bow. That's okay. You'll get it over it, I promise. When it's time to play that beat up. Let's activate that. Practice remember. You have perfect memory.
No, it's just,
Yeah.
I think that's the part that the most insecure about it.
Okay, but you know it. Nonetheless, you managed to play with like 20 people, right? And you know someone that you've never met before. Okay, so we're good. We don't need to worry about that. Can you please give me one? How much of that is hard?
I think the first page is like 2,000.
I'm just on the left. That has the just done. So we're talking about 2 beats.
Yeah, just the chromatic part.
The answer is not that much, right? But somehow we get ourselves like in knots. Thinking, oh, this is the Tchaikovsky violin intro. Must be hard. I must suffer through every note. No, you don't. You really don't. It's like not that hard. Like, you know, compared to, I would say, the opening of the drums, third movement, drums violin intro. Oh my God, that is hard. Yeah? But this is not so bad, actually, right? It's a matter of like just placing my bow just right so that I get the string to speak. Whichever bow you go. And really get the right staccato place. But as far as real passage work, it's not so bad. So I want you to go back to your practice room and kind of do it under tempo, not slowly, under tempo, which means 10-20% slow, and really kind of let the passages that no one knows that play themselves. Okay, red light. Just that, like 3 beats. Okay. So this way, you're carrying 100 pounds with you right now. You only need to carry 5 pounds. It's going to be a huge world of difference in terms of like how you play and how much you actually enjoy what you play. Right? You have the technique, you have the memory, but you have a lot of work right now. Yeah. Can you just start again with this line? I only have 3 heartbeats. And stay grounded. Put your elbow more on the D and G. Your tendency is, because even from here, even more than from there, to always be more on the A and E string than on this. Yeah? So put your weight also more on your left foot. That's important. Knowing every single part of it. That's kind of what you think. You let your brain relax, and you delegate your hands to do what you've been doing and been trained them to do. So then the product was actually a much more chiseled, clear, and enjoyable product. If you think, then before when you were like so worried about every single note. So it's the work is not always physical. Sometimes, well, I'd say most of the time, it's mental. I mean, I more and more I'm practicing without the violin. I'm using plain rights as sort of like going through the scenario of each piece and then doing it on the violin. It's actually amazing because you take the business out. And your brain knows what it wants to do. I would highly recommend that. So you have a lot of things to think, but I know that you can do everything, and I know you can play this very well. Bravo.